Okay, so today we are doing Kevin McCarthy, January 26, 1965. He was born in Bakersfield, California, and I'm in I'm in California myself. So he represents the state I live in. He was born at 8:12 p.m. and he's age 56. He's a representative of California's 23rd district and has been since 2013. He is married and has 2 children, and since 2018 he is the House Minority Leader. He's been quoted as saying, this is a quote, "President Trump won this election," unquote. He did this on November 3rd, the date of the election, shortly after the polls closed, after all of the actual votes that were, first of all, they counted the votes that were people walking in and using the voting machines first, and then after that closed, then it was designed to then count the mail-in voting. So what they attempted to do was, and what I think at heart of why they're saying they won, was they did not want mail-in votes to count, but quite frankly, that's not their place, okay? And he was one of the 126 House of Representatives who signed on the Texas-Pennsylvania lawsuit to overthrow the elections. He voted again to decertify Joe Biden's win. So I think we don't have to look far to see, this is somebody who's, these people, it just feels like it's a parade of psychopaths to me. I mean, I'm reading their charts. This is for entertainment purposes only. And all of us have negative and positive in our natal charts, so it is our potential to work on what we have within us, okay? And he has on record, which I think is worthy of note, campaign donations from Saudi Arabia. So just some things about this just don't set well with me. He voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Now keep in mind we're having a pandemic, so how important is medical care to a person who's sick? I'd say it's everything. Voted against providing better laws for enforcement against hate crimes. In other words, he's saying, I don't want to do anything about those particular areas. Those are kind of my special pets. So he is very much hands-off when it comes to dealing with what largely is considered the #1 terror threat to the United States is hate groups, and he basically says, no, we have to leave those people alone. They're good people. So I can't make this stuff up. It just breaks my heart. In 2018, he voted for DACA to keep the undocumented workers and basically to return them, even if so. An undocumented person is somebody who maybe was here, came at a very early age, or was born here, but doesn't fit all the criteria to actually become a citizen, and so they slip between the cracks is kind of the truth of it. And so that's a little troubling to me. He's against same-sex marriage. Gotta love a guy that's so much better than the rest of us. And basically, there was a contract awarded in 2018 to his brother, Vortex Construction, for $7.6 million, a no-bid contract. And I can just tell you from a federal government position, that's not how things are done. And so, yeah, there's a lot of irregularity, and the truth is that probably a lot of illegalities. And I think that these people that are like doing everything in their power to say Trump won and want to keep Trump in the office of presidency, they've got reasons that are personal and important to them. So I'm just going to say that I think we have a lot of blackmail going on. Now I'm going to go over a few of his aspects. I'm going to do a few of the trines because this man presents more as having a grand trine than not. which means that he is an old soul, but he is not using his old soul energy in a way that I find worthy of an old soul. Okay, I have a grand trine, so I'm very sensitive about this. He's got Sun trine Mercury, works with those in charge. So, you know, he's all about getting some kind of authority process going on, okay? Sun square Jupiter, stubborn in career choices, gets carried away with his judgments, and quite frankly, his judgment is off. You know, as I'm doing this, I want to say that normally when you do a natal chart, you've interviewed somebody, you've got a lot more information than I currently have on a more personal level. But I can observe, and I'm observing him as a human. He is a public politician. And I would say that right now, him meeting with a president who has been not removed, but who has been impeached very recently, like they're going to go off and start this great process together, is not a good career choice. And it does, in fact, say that his judgment's off. So there you go. There's a direct provable point. Okay, then he's got Sun square Saturn. He has a difficult time controlling his emotions. Again, he's another one. I wouldn't want to be alone in a room with him if he was mad at me. He would probably harm me, you know. He flares up with those he's closest to. Things from the home front are not as they appear, okay? And again, that's why I'm saying I would be rather uncomfortable to be home alone with him. Moon square Uranus insists on something different. He indulges in cravings. He's been known to have affairs, okay, again, for entertainment purposes only. Lots of emotional turbulence, and there's lots of hurt feelings with this guy on a regular basis. This is just kind of what it is. He's got Moon square Pluto. He keeps things hidden, and resents. He resents when you want to look into him at all. He wants to stay. He wants to stay hidden, and he wants to stay hidden in an airtight way. Because, well, I guess there's one thing that comes to my mind. He's got secrets, okay? And as a result, he has periodic explosions. You know, sit back and observe, and you can learn a lot. All right, so next, he's got Mercury conjunct Venus. He's in love with games of the mind. He's kind of into the mind, okay? And then he's got Venus square Jupiter, puzzle solver, old soul. Oh, excuse me, that is Venus trine Jupiter. Normally I don't include the trines, but because he is a grand trine, he is worthy of including in that particular. Okay, I lost my battery on that last one, and so here we go. All right, so where we were was he has a grand trine, and then he's got Mars square midheaven. He's competitive, he's pushy, and he has a lot of social drive. He has Jupiter opposed Neptune. Who is he? He abandons his dreams deliberately with his eyes open. With no conscience, so he lacks conscience, and then he's got Uranus conjunct Pluto. Secrets come to die in his presence. Okay, strong analytical power. This guy is very, very smart and highly manipulative. His childhood was complex, likely due to absent or preoccupied parents. And this was based upon his moon, which is, let me just look at what his moon was in. Yeah, his moon was in Scorpio. Okay, and so his childhood was complex, likely due to absence of preoccupied parents. Early life was chaotic. He failed to achieve a strong sense of self. So in other words, he's got kind of false self, okay? Secret groups. He involves himself in hate groups. That's part of how he feels connected. It takes something kind of passionate, powerful, and outside of himself, is what I'm saying, for him to feel. And because hate groups are such powerful driving types of energies, he was vulnerable to this particular type of thing. and he's challenged by his preconceptions, and they're off and they're extreme. So with that, I will go ahead and move over to the cards, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we are going to use the Spellcaster Tarot, and this mat that I use, that I spread my cards out just so people know, this is a liquid crystal mat, and it has all kinds of different elements put with it. I got it from Vibes Up, and I just love it for its energetic release. So anyway, and we're going to use the Spellcaster today. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. And then I need to cut 3 times. I sort of forget sometimes. I don't know why. My brain has a hard time sometimes keeping up with all the details, but I have been struggling with major medical, so I guess there are things that go with that. So 1, 2, and 3. And our foundation is a 4 of Pentacles. Let's see if I can get that where I want it. Alright, so 4 of Pentacles. Alright, so we'll go ahead and set up the chart, and we shall begin. Alright, so we're using Spellcaster Tarot, and we're looking at Kevin McCarthy, January 26, 1965, born Bakersfield, California, and we have a birth time of 8:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the chart that you have in front of you is inner is going to be his natal, the outer is his transit, and the third, or the center is the transit, and the third outer is the progressed chart. So where it starts out is, of course, in the first house. He has Uranus conjunct Pluto in Leo. He's unpredictable. He's out front, okay? He's unconventional. He's eccentric, and he wants to be known in the house of soul ruled by Mars, okay? And he gets the Page of Wands. He comes to politics wanting to provide something new and different. Now, just do keep in mind, and I'm going to just put this over here because it is important, that the foundation is basically financial. And what is interesting is that person after person whom I've done their natal charts regarding this issue of really betrayal of the people of our country, they get this the 4 of Pentacles, you know, that largely the foundation or the motivation behind their behavior is financial. And what does he have? He has, like I said, he has Uranus conjunct Pluto in Leo, and then he has Mars in Virgo. So that is going to relate back to his career, that he is looking to aggressively create circumstances that affects the soul of the people of the United States. He's looking to exert control, and that's not acceptable. And you know, here we are. And then in the second house, he's analytical, he's precise. Thoughts about things financial are in high focus for him. And that's ruled by Venus. In his outer, he has Pluto in Libra. He gets the Emperor. And what's interesting is yesterday he goes off to meet with 45 to discuss the future of the Republican Party. And, you know, I think that that's kind of a betrayal to the people that voted him in, the Republicans who felt impassioned about voting him in. Okay, and that's in the second house of objects. The third house of information, he has Neptune 29 degrees. So that is a sort of in focus, not concerned with the facts right now. Anything 29 degrees is going to be of high focus. He is a dreamer, okay? He thinks he's fair and dreamy. This is his part of fortune, and his dreams are connected up, and his part of fortune's in Scorpio. So just do keep in mind that he grew up with a Scorpio moon mother, which is in the house of his information. Things were less than thorough in his first 5 years of life, and so he tends to want to cut short, or maybe repeat the things that harmed him from the past, and that is deliberately not providing us, the people, the information and things as they need, but doing so for his own personal self-interest. And the third house of information, ruled by Mercury, he's two-faced, okay? And in his outer, he's got his North Node conjunct Uranus, conjunct Mercury, conjunct Sun, conjunct Mars. He's coming in and he's saying, I am a sharp-dressed, sharp-tongued man with some really good ideas that are really aggressive, that will shock and surprise you, because it is my destiny for me to do so. And what he gets in his third house is the Queen of Swords, okay? The sharp truth. He wants to come in and he wants to tell us what he sees as the sharp truth. So he's setting up to serve as a spokesperson for the GOP. Very interesting. But note, that's a queen, not a king. So we'll see. You know, maybe he's got the goods, maybe he doesn't. And as I pointed out, in his natal, okay, he's got Neptune in Libra. He has part of fortune in Scorpio. He has moon in Scorpio, and his outer, I gave you those. This guy has got a lot going on in that third house, okay? And what does he get? He gets the moon. Yeah, so just kind of as I was thinking about this, that the moon is a special focus here, because how he was brought up, how he sees things, it has everything to do with what he experienced as a child. And he experienced some starkness. So was his emotional needs met? I would say not. And I would say that at this time he does not know how to meet the needs or the emotional needs of the people that he serves. And that's a problem, okay? His midheaven in the fourth house, from the house of roots, ruled by moon. Is he foe or is he friend? You know, he's got his south node in Sagittarius. He's got black moon Lilith. That is where his wounding is within the family, and because he has wounding, he uses that wounding. How he heals is through secret groups, okay? Groups that he connects to that provide him a sense of power and belonging. So it's an issue of friend or foe, and this is on his midheaven. In his outer, he's got Neptune conjunct midheaven conjunct Venus. Okay, he's dreamy and he wants things to look good, but he's tied to some kind of an addiction process, and tied to lovers, and that totally makes sense, given that you know, we are in this really strange and sick dance. I mean, I don't know, I would have never guessed that we, through one 4-year cycle, could become so derailed as a country, and we have, where we are not responding to hate groups in an appropriate way at all. And my question is why? Why aren't we responding to this energy of these hate groups? It's as if secretly the white person is so concerned about someone being better than them that they're fighting for everything they have to maintain their prideful and sick position, and that bothers me, okay, it just does. In the 5th house, okay, he's got Venus conjunct Mercury. What he thinks is beautiful is this fervent belief, this faith, okay, and he has Sun in Capricorn. He's cold. He's expressive, outgoing. Pluto, his emotions and his words, he turns things into drama. Okay, and what does he get? He's got the 8 of Swords. He's tied up by his own doing at this point. He's gone in where others fear to tread and participated in this drama of, you know, we're going to take over the United States government. And here we sit. You know, he's tied up by his own doing, and he has to at some point have some accountability. And as I have said before, I don't think I'd want accountability with a previous district attorney, attorney general of California, and a minority woman to a female. You know, he's got some issues that he's going to have to face. And the 5th house is your house of drama. It is ruled by Sun. Okay, we move on to the 6th house of career and service and health. Okay, that is ruled by Mercury. He has Saturn in Aquarius in his natal. In his middle or center, he has Venus conjunct Pluto, ascendant conjunct Saturn, conjunct Sun, conjunct Jupiter. You know, he right now in his transits, he has got a lot going on in his house of career. And he is another one that he might want to start thinking about hiring someone to help him with his legal issues that are soon to be soon to be on his doorstep. And what does he get? He gets the Knight of Wands. Yeah, there's some action that's being taken that he's going to find out his limitations, okay? When you've got Saturn, you're fighting to in this case, he's got limits in his career, and he's fighting to become a more soulful human. And that speaks again to that false self, that false narrative. Why he's attracted to things that are passionately outside of his energy is because he himself doesn't relate to his own energy, okay? So he's looking for a way to connect. In the 7th house of partnerships, he's far seen, okay? He has his Chiron in Aquarius. He's got in his center, he's got Mercury, and on his ascendant in the outer, he's got the 8 of Wands. Yes, action's about to come in at him in the house of partnerships. You know, no matter who he thinks he is, okay, you cannot. I mean, to me, I find these people are educated. They've had lives of privilege. They have money. And for those of us who have struggled for everything we have, it's really difficult to watch this level of disregard for the people at the end of the day. I'm having trouble with it. In his 8th house of sex, death, and rock and roll, he's psychological, okay? And he gets the 10 of Cups, you know, that celebration. You know, this is where he celebrates. I guess he dances on our graves as we go from COVID. You know, I don't know, but it's really kind of a sad reality. And he has in the center, he's got Neptune in Pisces. So yeah, he kind of dreams of the collective death and birth of life, you know. So not somebody I want to be friends with, to be honest. He in the 9th house, he's got act first, think later. He's impulsive. That's your higher education. That's your it's your house of foreign, ruled by Jupiter. And by the way, sex, death, and rock and roll is ruled by Pluto. The 9th house, so ruled by Jupiter. He's got, Jupiter, ruled by Jupiter in Aries in his natal. And then he has Mars conjunct Uranus in his center. And he's got Moon in Aries outer. Okay, so yeah, he thinks he wants a truth that he wants, whether it's true or not. I mean, it's almost as if these people are willing to manufacture the truth if that's what it takes, okay? And he gets the Five of Cups. The guy's got some broken cups. Things have spilt. Things aren't exactly where they would like them to be. So, yeah, so, you know, we shall see. I'm one card short, so I'm just going to randomly pick one out. So, anyway, here we go. There are still cups, and that Aries moon issue, just, you know, that an Aries moon is something that is kind of impatient and unwilling to take the time maybe to look things over thoroughly, and that being in his outer progressed. Okay, then in the 10th house, ruled by Saturn, how he acquires and possesses. In the highest house of government, his north node in Gemini, okay? In his outer, his north node, again, in Gemini. So we kind of got a theme. It's what he's here for, his return, his north node return. And then he's got that Jupiter out in the outer to expand in Gemini. He gets the Two of Pentacles. For him, it's about the money, okay? This is his career, and he wants to expand some idea, probably because he has secrets, and he wants those secrets not to be shared with us. So instead, he expands whatever it is that he has, or, you know, he expands for himself, okay? In the 11th house of secret groups, connections, and communications, ruled by Uranus, that is in Cancer, and he gets the Devil. You know, the devil's in the details. That, to me, kind of points to, there's Josh Hawley and there's Kevin McCarthy. And both of these men, their charts took a little different turn. And I thought that Josh Hawley's suggested he might be the major architect, and Kevin McCarthy might be his second-hand man. So, you know, do keep that in mind, that the way these are looking, you know, they're going to be, no matter what, you know, there's trouble coming for these people. You know, whether people like it or not, you cannot commit crime because you didn't agree with something that happened. Okay, in the 12th house of the unseen, there he's in the center, he's got Moon in Leo. You know, I am about to be exposed, okay? And in the outer, he's got Saturn in the unseen. Something, and I am about to know my limitations, okay? And he gets the Death card. I would say that, wow, that's a lot of major arcana, okay? I would say that he's about to know some trouble, because, well, like I said, you can't commit a sedition and insurrection and participate in hate groups and expect to continue to do so without any kind of consequences, and that is going to cause him to need to go into retreat. Notice the squirrel there. He should probably be squirreling away his coins, because he might not have a job here very shortly, because it appears that the government is coming for him and going to provide him some boundaries, or, you know, is going to chain him up. Do note that the two are there. Notice the moon behind her back. That, yeah, he's that Scorpio moon. He's about to find out what that really does mean, and exposure is now here. So with that, I thank you very much for joining me here today, and please do hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and do join myself and my lovely co-reader, Pearl Rowland, over on www.twiggy.com. And please do check us out. We have astrology services, which is going to be all of our reports, and then we have tarot readings, and that's going to be where you'll find our tarot scopes and our various types of readings. So if you go ahead and check us out, that would be lovely. Get yourself a report and watch me work and learn how to read your chart. Read along with me. And with that, I thank you for joining me here today.